Welcome to another Fact or Fiction Friday. I am the guinea pig, Christopher McKell. He is the Professor Jason Parsons. We are going to talk about probiotics today. I'm assuming they're good because I was constipated at one point, so I started taking some probiotics to help me go to the bathroom, I was told.
How'd that work out?
It worked.
Did you poop?
I did.
Hey, it works. It's magic.
So, I don't know if that's the only good thing about it, that it makes you poop, but we're going to find out here shortly. I would imagine with all these beautiful pictures, my pink cow over here, or pink nose cow.
Yeah.
So, why don't you go ahead and take it away and let people know.
It's funny.
The truth.
You talked about you get constipated, you take probiotics, and you poop. It helps with that.
And I haven't stopped taking. I still take them just to
Poops?
think it helps me poop.
Or probiotics. You still taking poop?
Both.
Both. That's good. That's good. Everybody wins here. There's gonna be a lot of poop talk today. If you're worried about poop and stuff like that, you're gonna want to turn the video off right now. Push the stop button or fast forward way to the end because, as you can see, this isn't brown, but that's a poo right there.
Yeah. The black poo emoji.
We don't have a brown marker. Sorry.
We do.
We do?
I
It's
didn't
just
find it
lazy.
afterwards.
All right.
Whatever. It's gonna be long, so let's get going.
Probiotics are good for your health? I would say yes. Before we get started, I would say yeah, mostly they're pretty good. Now, the caveat here being, if you need them, if you're in a great place with your gut and you're already having a good situation with the bacteria in and on your body, you might not need them, but as we're going to talk about here in a second, there are some situations where it might be very helpful. So let's get into it. So first and foremost, when we talk about probiotics, I like to talk to people about what that means. So probiotics, we're talking about bacteria here. And a fun fact for you, Fact or Fiction Friday, fun fact, fun alliterations there, yay, is that 90% of the cells in your body are not even you. 90%. You're made up of trillions of cells, and the vast majority, 90% of those, are foreign invaders. They're aliens. They're the bacteria that you've picked up over your years from before birth that you borrowed from your mom, that got on your skin, inside your body through foods that you've eaten, rubbing on you, touching doorknobs and getting them on your face. You're covered in bacteria and you're full of it too. Some people are more full of it than others. That would probably be me. But as I was saying, you got a lot of bacteria in you and on you. So we're going to specifically talk about the bacteria that's in you, your microbiome, or like living situation with all that bacteria in your gut. From your stomach to your small intestine to your large intestine, your colon, all the way down to your pooper down here, you're just filled with bacteria. And there's good and bad bacteria. There's 500 plus types of bacteria that float around in on you. And the goal, I think, for most people, whether they know it or not, is to have more good than bad, right? And in this case, the bacteria that's inside your gut, it can help you to do a lot of things. It's very symbiotic, the good ones anyway, right? Their job, their reason for being inside you is to help you to break down your food, the things that you stuff inside your face so that you can use it better. But if we have an imbalance, more bad bacteria than good, if we wipe out all the bacteria, and the reason that might happen is you get very sick and your doctor sometimes egregiously prescribes antibiotics to you to kill a bacterial infection, or just because they're bored and they want to give you an antibiotic and it's not a very good doctor, which happens out there. But I digress. Those antibiotics kill bacteria. Antibiotics, they're killing your biotics, your bacteria. So if you got an infection, you take the antibiotic, it kills not just the infection bacteria, but everything in your gut too. And you got a clean slate here. You need to repopulate that area. Or you just got a bad balance. Either way, that's where probiotics come into play. Now, something to understand, what are the problems, what are the challenges, what are the plus and minus of those bacteria inside your gut? So the benefits, if you will, of probiotics. So some things to look for if you have challenges with your inside your gut. You want to understand those bacteria, they really work with your metabolism, your digestion, your immune system, and your body composition. A lot of people think, how can bacteria affect my body composition? Well, if your bacteria is out of whack and you have a lot of inflammation in your gut, you start to produce more of the inflammatory hormones like cortisol. Cortisol then begins to increase the amount of fat you have in your belly area, you get belly fat, and so you have an issue there. So interesting enough, bacteria can affect how you look, not just how you feel. So
maybe that was my issue.
Could have been.
So taking probiotics, lost all his weight.
I guarantee you it is part of it. Having a very bad diet, the standard American diet, there's a lot of processed foods, a lot of things going on that just causes war on your good bacteria, and you can't even use the food you're eating. Whether it was good or bad, it didn't matter. Your gut wasn't able to process it. So let's take a look at what's going on here. So having probiotics in your body, it helps to decrease bloating. So if you have a lot of bloating, you find after you eat some food, you're like, your belly sort of distended. Acid reflux, if that's a problem, probiotic can help with that, decrease that. Allergies, and then of course, irritable bowel syndrome, bowels. So if it's irritated, that could be a problem. A lot of interesting things that happen when you increase the probiotics is you can have more vitamin B and K synthesized. Those bacteria actually help to take and convert certain things that you eat into vitamins B and K. You have greater nutrient absorption. That means the ability to absorb nutrients through your intestinal walls into your bloodstream for use in your body. Just because you chewed it up, swallowed it, went through your stomach, got into your intestine and started to break down doesn't mean you actually absorbed it. It just might have shot right back out the rear end, again, the poop joke. So nutrient absorption can go up. Motility means how much and how quickly food is moving through you. If you find you have constipation, like you said, and food is just not getting through you very quickly, it takes you 4 days to poop it out, unless you want to do the lambada like he just did. Probiotic can help you out with that. And then finally, cytokines. I want to put this big fancy sciencey word up here. Cytokines are basically like communication networks between your cells. So your cells can communicate between each other. It increases the production of cytokines, so your body can talk to itself better. So these are some positive benefits and opportunities with consuming probiotics. But where do we get these things from? So an important thing to understand, I like Chris's cow up here. This is a nice little cow. He's really good at the artwork. I suck at that stuff. So there's a lot of dairy-based probiotic opportunities. We've got yogurt. That's a very common one. We have kefir. We have, what's that stuff? Buttermilk. Some cheeses are actually fermented with bacteria, so those are all dairy-based forms of probiotics. You have fermented fruits and vegetables. In this case, over here, like a pickle, right? You have, you can't really tell what that is, but it's a very accurate representation, sure enough. Either sauerkraut or kimchi. Right? A lot of people remember that kimchi. That's kimchi, I think, or it's a little spludge on a plate there. Either way, all those fermented products are forms of probiotic foods you can consume. Now, obviously, there are also supplements out there. You can get at the store. The doctor sometimes prescribe them. You go down to Walmart, the pharmacy section, there's some probiotics inside there. Little capsules you can take with living bacteria inside them, pop them in there, and they've got billions of bacteria inside them. It's funny when you look at it, there's 20 billion in here, that's a lot. Well, you've got trillions of cells, which is millions of millions of millions, which is a lot. So those are another form. But from a food and a natural standpoint, these are some sources over here where most people get them. This is one way you can start to correct problems that you have with your gut and with your microbiotic system, is to consume foods that have probiotic opportunities, more of the bacteria. Something people don't seem to consider, though, is that we've got to feed those bacteria the right things once they're in there. You can starve them off and cause trauma and problems in your gut if you're not feeding your body properly. So if you have a really crappy diet with a lot of highly processed foods that come from cans and out of boxes, why do foods last longer in a can or a box? What has to be done to a food that's sitting inside of a box or in a can so it doesn't spoil? Do you know?
I do, but I'm having a brain fart.
That's okay. Don't fart right on me. There's poo right there. So, and we'll talk about farts more in a minute, because poo and farts, they go hand in hand in this whole conversation. Preservatives. And preservatives kill bacteria, right? That's how foods stay inside of a can or inside of a container, like the milk that you might drink inside your fridge. It goes through a pasteurization process where they elevate the temperature real quick to kill bacteria that's already naturally in the milk to begin with, but if you left it alone, it would have become yogurt, it would have become some of that cheese processing. Those bacteria, we gotta kill them off because the milk would go bad, it separates out, it gets chunky, nobody likes that, it's gross, right? That's why we keep it refrigerated also, so it doesn't go bad as quickly, because the bacteria doesn't grow in the cold. Warmer temperatures is what it likes. Bacteria love it down here in South Florida, actually. So in our processed foods in a box and a can, and there's such sources like that, they kill the bacteria so it has a longer shelf life, it doesn't go bad. If they kill all the bacteria, it doesn't have anything that's going to be able to feed your body. There's definitely not any probiotic benefits in those. So with that being said, if you look at the standard American diet, and as we've talked about in most of our videos, we want to open up opportunities to eating more whole foods, more things towards the raw side of the spectrum, things that grow out of the ground and walk around or swim around. More recently, more whole food types of products, as opposed to the other end of the spectrum, really super processed things like Spam. I don't know what that is. You can sit in a can for like 50 years and be just fine, and I don't know what kind of parts of what animal that may or may not be. Probably some lips and elbows in there, but
They just had a huge Spam recall on one of them.
Ah, that's weird. How does Spam go bad? I don't know. Anyway, so things that feed your microbiome and your bacteria are stuff over here. So prebiotics, these are the things that come before your bacteria are happy, as a little smiley face up there indicates. And there's a couple of different things. They're basically types of fiber or sugars. They're carbohydrates. And I know everybody out there says carbohydrates are the Antichrist are bad for you, but the truth is they're not. Especially not for your gut. Your gut loves carbohydrates, specifically. Things like inulin, fructooligosaccharides, galactooligosaccharides, and over here polydextrose. Lots of big fancy words. They're just names for types of sugars and carbohydrate structures that your gut loves to eat. All those bacteria in there love that stuff. That's their food. So sources for those out there, you can see Christopher over here is beautiful green over here. It could be wheat, it could be barley, we don't know. It's probably both of them combined, they're right next to each other. Grains in their whole form, preferably a grain closer to when it grew out of the ground versus a really processed flour on this end, like in a muffin or something. Yeah, let's go back that direction. Whole grains are great. So barley, wheat, oats, things like that. Even quinoa, not quinoa, it's quinoa, right? Bananas, this is a green banana. I don't know why Chris...
We don't have a yellow marker, but we did find a red marker, our body red marker.
I don't think red's going to go for banana. That's a really messed up banana. I'll stick with green. I'm not going to complain. So bananas are a great source, the fiber and the sugars inside that. Berries, red berries, blueberries, raspberries, things like that. Sweet potatoes / yam, whatever you want to call those orange things that are super tasty. A big bowl of beans over here. Big bowl of beans. Another alliteration. That's 2 in one video. You're welcome. Lots of fiber in those beans, right? So that fiber, again, is a type of carbohydrate that your body can use to feed your bacteria. You make them happy, you get enough of them with a probiotic, extras if you need it, because you have some issues. You feed them properly with a better opportunity of food intake, and you end up with a very happy gut. A happy gut is a happy life. Kind of like I always say, happy wife, happy life. Happy gut, happy life.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what we're going. So, this is interesting. We usually don't have this, but this statement up here, yeah, I would totally agree with that.
Fact, right?
Yeah, I think it's a fact. Again, the caveat being, if you're not already in a happy place with your gut and your microbiome's kind of messed up, that's a great thing to look at.
I already knew all this, so I've been taking it for months now.
You're a smart guy.
I know.
Smart guy.
I try. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode on probiotics. Obviously, as you can see, it's good for you, has lots of benefits. Feed it if you can.
Yeah.
If not, get some extra. Eat some yogurt.
Don't eat the whole cow, though. Like, get the stuff that comes out of the cow.
Green bananas and berries. Till next week.